all so much for being here. I'm so stoked to be back. We got Push 3 here in the building. Push 3, folks. We're going to be making some beats today. I want to work on some music. If you got questions about Push 3, I would love to try to answer some of those today. And I'm very happy to be back. I was just away from a very long trip, as a lot of you may know. But here, finally back in the Lo-Fi Lounge. It's been a while since we even streamed. Shout out to anybody who caught the live stream from Korea. If you caught the stream from Korea, you're a real one, because that thing was on Twitch, and I found out after the stream that there's no Twitch VODs in Korea, so I couldn't even save or get the recording of that stream or find it anywhere. Once we were done with that stream, it was done. Glad to see you back with Push 3. Heck yeah. What is up, everybody? Shout out to all the members in the chat. I see Bishop, I see Gary, I see Krios, I see Art of Murray, I see Piccolo Black. What is good? What is good? Gary! Did I already say Gary? Hello. I think I even saw my mom in the chat. How about that? Listen, and everybody else in between, thank you for joining. Oh, you like the new angle? How about this new angle, too? This is not just a new angle. We basically got a new setup here in the Lo-Fi Lounge. That was one of my first orders of business getting back here. I wanted to rearrange things. Yo, what's up, Preset? What's up, Rafa? Rafa, I see your question. We're going to get into the Push 3 questions in a bit. So just hold those Push 3 questions. When we start making beats, I'll be sure to answer them. Dumisani, what's up? Dumisani, what's good? Welcome. Jake says Stormtrooper helmet is fire. Oh yeah, you can see that up there. I have other helmets too. We'll have to swap it out every now and then. We got other angles too. Who can answer Yona's question in chat? Who can answer Yona's question? I'm sure somebody can help or has some of that. I remember Tokyo Sakura. How could I forget Tokyo Sakura? What is up, Bo Gonzo? Nice to see you. Back on the stream. Bishop says it's a dope game of I Spy. Would be fun for Beatober activity. That's true. That is a good idea, Bishop. And I'm glad you're thinking about Beatober, because actually, are we under 100 days until Beatober? Beatober is approaching fast. If you go to beatober.com, you can get the real countdown. But we are at 93 days until Beatober. 93 days and 5 hours, 51 minutes, and 26 seconds. Okay. Beyond Yes, welcome. 77 Social as well, hello. So maybe some of you are wondering, why are we not live on Twitch? If you're from the Twitch crew, I want to thank you so much for coming over here on YouTube. And if you're on the YouTube crew and you're like, what are you even talking about? The bottom line is, I was streaming for the past 3 months-ish on Twitch. From March to May, I did some experimentation streaming on Twitch. And we had a lot of fun actually on Twitch. Twitch has a little bit of a different culture, a little bit of a different vibe. I don't know if some of you agree that experienced both streams or that watch streams both on Twitch and on YouTube. It's easier to bring up like some copywritten material. Like if we were making a track and I said, oh, I want to make a track like this, I could bring the full track up and play it and like nitpick it, analyze it, whatever. And we'd have no like issues with getting taken down via copyright. But on YouTube, not so much. On YouTube, it's a little more difficult. So things like that aren't really possible here. But as my contract was ending with Twitch, I was thinking about, okay, am I going to continue with Twitch? Am I going to go back to streaming on YouTube? For me, from a practical level, YouTube makes a lot more sense because all my videos are here. You all probably watched some of my tutorials. Yo, Dopamine Fix, what's good? Welcome. Y'all probably watched some of my videos already. and we have memberships here, which are the same thing as Twitch subs. And even though it was a little more fun over there, the culture was a little different, I still think the practicality point of YouTube is better for me. And then second of all, they kept introducing, right when my contract ended, a bunch of like anti-creator policies and things that just made it harder for creators over at Twitch. Whereas Twitch seems to be going on the downturn, and YouTube, with live streaming, their features and their capabilities and everything, they need to grow, but they're growing, you know? Beyond Disc Kick has been popping, yeah, but unfortunately that's like a front for like crypto gambling, so I'm not trying to go there. I'm not trying to like, and certain creators go there, you know? That's what I'll say. But how have you all been? How has the music making been for you all lately? Have you all been progressing? What is everybody working on? Are you working on an album? Are you working on a single? Are you working on an EP? I hope you all have been enjoying Music for Ghosts, my ambient album. And today it's just meant to be a casual stream back in the Lo-Fi Lounge, working on some music, of course, with Push 3, which I want to kind of show off to all of you that didn't see that initial stream. I have a big video coming with Push 3. Like a big video. A video that kind of documents my journey from starting with Push 3 in Korea, going through different locations and trying out a different feature in every different location, to getting back to the US and being on a road trip, using Push 3 in the car, like during that road trip, then getting back to the studio and showing you all how I hook it up in the studio. Yo, what's up, Stefan? Stefan! Music Learning, hello. Greetings from Chile. Welcome to the stream. Bishop says, just upgraded to an M2 Mac Mini with 16 gigabytes of RAM. Getting back into streaming myself. Nice. It's amazing to be able to run Arturia products for once. Oh, nice. I never really had a problem. But maybe your current machine was giving issues. The old school TV is fire too. Nice spotting, Jake. Nice spotting. And you probably can't tell this, but I've got a camera hooked up to that, and it's like pointing at me. I think there's better ways to use that. Like I could have a tape running or something. Yo, STK member for 23 months. Thank you, STK. Much appreciated. If you are a YouTube member here, you have a member's milestone, like a free super chat that you can use, just like STK just did in chat. So if you got something to say, something you want to pop up real big, go ahead and use the member milestone chat. It's under like the super chat button. You know, it's free for members. You get one free one a month, I believe. Stefan says, I've become a fan of you ever since I learned music theory. Thanks to you in a process of making a song. Awesome. That's 23 months, people. We have actually a big chunk of... So actually next month, STK's badge will turn to gold for 2 years. We have a good amount of 2-year members, which is just mind-blowing. But I appreciate it. And a reminder that that's an amazing way to support the channel and make sure I can make more educational content, more sample packs, more content for you all. Fight the algorithm, you know? Joseph McCaffrey in the chat and in the house, if y'all didn't know. Pendulce with a gold badge as well. Wow. If you could somehow film a video with the grainy graphics of the old TV, that would be sick too, lol. Jake, you should check out my, I have a Serato Studio video up on here, and I just did some content for Roland as well, where I'll point that camera like at my 404 or at what I'm using to make music, and it'll be on the screen. Seal Sound says, you moved your desk? Heck yeah. Check out... Oh, that's not the setup shot I wanted to use. SDK says, been listening to Music for Ghosts a lot lately. Love it. I'm so glad, SDK. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's crazy because we made that album like on Twitch, right? Like that was basically what I used that 3 months on Twitch to do, was document the process of making that ambient album. Made that and then immediately left on a trip across the world. So it's kind of like remembering back to that. Check out this setup. For those of you who are just jumping in, check it out. Yo, OSR The Journey, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Much appreciated. Shannon Palmer says, I lost my 2-year run because reverb's on. Shannon Palmer says, I lost my 2-year run because I had to cut a lot of costs last month. Hopefully I can join again soon. Shannon, no worries about that. Of course, membership and support is like only for like if you absolutely can. Like, of course, if you got other stuff to pay for, you got other stuff to pay for. That's totally understandable. But the good thing about that is if you ever do rejoin, if the situation changes, I think you get your badge back. You get like your total time as a member. It still counts. I don't think it resets. My parents are at the beach, apparently. Must be nice. Member for 29 months. Get on Joseph McCaffrey's level. There are only 2 members, I think, on that level. On like that have gone that far. There are more members that have done 2 years, but not as many that have done 29 months. Ari Lixis, don't worry about donating. I hope at least you can watch some videos and learn how to make some music and build something for yourself eventually. Stefan says, do you have any pets? Well, Joseph McCaffrey has a dog, and Joseph McCaffrey lives here now. So there's a dog in the house, and we've got a camera set up ready for when the dog joins, if he does. At certain times of day, he's up here. Certain times of day, he goes downstairs, depending on where the sunlight is in the house. Been watching a feng shui channel on YouTube, and I'm so interested in room configuration now. Yeah, for me, it's like every place that I've ever lived, I like rearrange the space at least once or twice while I'm living here. You know, is he a good boy? He's a very good boy. Like if I have a studio space, or if I have a bedroom, if I have whatever in my apartment, I have, like my first apartment, I probably ran through every single configuration that apartment could be in. The bed was in the living room, the bedroom was a studio, then the bedroom was a bedroom, and the studio was in the living room. It's crazy. And about the Twitch and YouTube, since some people don't have YouTube or Twitch, you should do half and half. Yeah, but if I do half and half, I think it's very confusing for people. And also it's very difficult to build an audience on Twitch if you're not streaming there constantly and consistently. Yo, Yona! Welcome to the community. Now, if I type ! new member, let's see if Nightbot's gonna work. It's been a while. Sometimes I have to re-enable it. There you go. New member, link your Discord and YouTube account to get access to the TAETRO community server. Follow these instructions. You click that link, it'll give you instructions on how to get in our Discord. And Nightbot also just reminded me that I posted some free samples for members. If you're a VIP member or above, there's a bunch of free downloads on the community tab. And I just posted one Monday or Tuesday. I put out a sample pack with Roland. We're going to talk more about that next week. I put out a sample pack with Roland. I guess I'll show off the website. And also we got some melodics lessons with Roland. But I did a whole sample pack called Daydreams with Roland. You can go pick it up now. You can, if you subscribe to Roland Cloud, you can get it, or you can just buy it outright, I think. 128 sounds there. It's made up of 8 kits. But if you want one of the kits free, VIP members can get one of the kits. That's 16 samples for free right now on the community tab. I thought that was cool, Roland. I just pitched it to them, say, hey, can I put out a kit for the members? And they were like, yeah. But next week's stream will be totally about that. How often do you use the lemon drop in your songs? Well, lately I have kind of not been using it as much, but I brought it with me on my trip, and you're gonna see it pop up in my Ableton Push 3 video because you can hook up external synths and stuff to that. And since I was traveling with that, I was showing it off in that context. Are you still planning on merch? I've been catching up because of school stuff, but you still planning on that? Well, if you go to taetro.com/music4ghosts, you can see all the merch that we dropped for Music for Ghosts. Yo, OSR The Journey, welcome to VIP. Thank you for joining. TAETRO.com/musicforghosts. Scroll down there. The limited edition cassettes is sold out. Thank you for everybody who grabbed one. But then there's a bunch of merch for that. Watercolor tee, puzzle with the original painting, mug with the ghost, phone cases. My phone case, actually. Let's see if that focuses. My phone case. A lot of stuff there. We got iPhone and Samsung cases. We got mugs, puzzle, which I think is really cool. It's US only, unfortunately. Stickers, t-shirt. If you want, you can pick one up. Should we do more merch for Beatober as well? I'm trying to think of the concepts for Beatober. You should design some stickers. Just saw the video of you putting some on your launch community today. Yeah, so we've got some ghost stickers there on the shop. But it would be cool to design a bunch more stickers. Welcome back, OSI Their Journey. Will there be any more cassettes of the album? What I'm thinking of is... The problem with the cassettes, I talked about this a little bit on Twitch, is that there's no way to do it and like even break even on selling them. Like it costs a lot of money to make those. No, making them doesn't cost a lot of money, but shipping them does. Shipping them is a nightmare. And we even had one that got lost in shipping, so I'm gonna send a replacement to that person. But like, especially international shipping, like I know that there's a lot of people from different countries here, so I want to make sure that everybody is supported in that way. But it is one of the biggest like expenses. Like there are some places it costs $25 or nearly $30 to ship to. Oh, sorry, you lost your colors? No, you didn't lose your colors. You have the moon colorway, which is the second highest one. I can see it there. It's not totally black and white. You're one step away from gold. The old TAETRO merch with the Midi keyboard. Maybe we could do a newly designed version of that. I saw somebody on one of the comments in one of the videos where I was wearing one of those shirts. It's like, oh, that's a cool shirt. Oh, and my mom says, if I want anything for Beatober, put the order in soon. Yeah, so my mom made a bunch of crochet ghosts. You can see one on that table over there. Little tiny ghost there. So a bunch of people got ghosts with their... a bunch of people won ghosts for... what did we do? We did a giveaway on launch day for the album. One went all the way to Finland. Shannon Palmer says, that makes sense. I sell stuff on Etsy and shipping is crazy right now. Tell me about the Etsy shop business, Shannon, because for me, after like doing just a little bit of, like for Beatober, we gave stuff away and we sent stuff internationally. And then for this cassette, we sent it out internationally as well. There's no way to make that financially make sense as far as I'm concerned. Even like I'm using stamps.com, I'm doing it at home. I'm buying my own like materials. Jim says, I have one of the old hoodies and love wearing it. Nice. Oh, the helmet near the door. Yeah, the mirror's blocking it. We got a lot of helmets over here. Kylo Ren is there. And then up there is the Dark Stormtrooper. I got a Darth Vader helmet over there as well. Yeah, part of configuring this space, and we're going to get to the Ableton Push 3 after this little blurb here. Part of configuring this space is figuring out like where did the cameras go. So I figure out that this is a good shot for seeing most of the space. So you can guys can get a feel for the studio. I think it's about the vibe, right? It's got to be about the vibe. Do we know how many winners there will be for Beatober? Beyond Just says, I think, if I remember this correctly, that we had over 100 prizes between hardware and software last year. So if we could at least match that, I'll be happy. For Beatober, the prizes were every time we went live 3 times a week. Every time we went live, I tweeted, and if you retweeted that, you were entered in to win a prize. So I'd pull a prize for that. Then usually the stream had its own giveaway. So we'd give away something during the stream. So that's basically 2 giveaways per stream. And then we do a 24-hour stream where throughout that stream we do even more giveaways. So there was just like giveaways on giveaways. I hope to keep doing that. Shannon says, yeah, it's hard to make a profit, especially with Etsy fees and drop shipper fees. Yeah, it's crazy. What is the theme of your apartment? That's a good question. There's a lot of wood and a lot of plants. Getting back from Korea, like Korea has a lot of amazing cafes, a lot of amazing, every restaurant, every cafe, the theme or the concept is just very well executed. And it's can be very unique from cafe to cafe, from restaurant to restaurant. So I'm very inspired by that sort of design, and I've captured a lot of video and stuff. Eventually I'll share it all with you, whether I start a second channel for some of this vlog content kind of thing, or some of it shows through the videos here. I met one really cool guy named Jingu, who owns a bar, like a bistro. I'll show you this and then we'll get right into the Push 3, but this has to do with Push a little bit. He's got a bar slash bistro right outside Seoul, and he's a friend. He's my girlfriend's friend's boyfriend, and we went there, and he's got like a little studio set up like in his restaurant, and he like picks all the vinyl for his he like runs vinyl during the restaurant hours. Here, let me bring this up. So this is like in the corner of the restaurant, his little setup here. It's hard to get an idea of how that fits in the restaurant, so let me find a wider shot. I shot a whole thing with him. I shot a whole interview. He was making some music and stuff too. Come on, where's the like shot of the restaurant? He like walked me through his vinyl. His mom was like cooking in the kitchen. These are all my detail shots, but I've got a bunch of content here. This is like looking down the bar and into the kitchen where he was like working. So if you can kind of catch the vibe of that place. But we were there like pre-opening for this shoot, and then as soon as it opened, he had 3 tables or something like that. Such good food. I guess I'll show the outside. There's the outside right here. It's like dark vibes. Man, where is... I want you to be able to see like the whole restaurant, not just his studio setup. Oh well, you'll see it in a full video eventually. Very cool vibes. But immediately when I walked in there, I was like, he's got like this setup with like Push and Ableton and guitars and mics and stuff. It was cool. I'll do a whole video about that. Good cherry highball. Yes, yes, yes. Gotta start setting my alarm for 3 a.m. to get ready for the Beatober streams. Yeah, get on that time zone. Get on the proper Beatober time zone. The Beatober hoodie was low. Nice, nice. Yeah, but I'm stoked to be home. I'm stoked to be back, ready to make some music. So on that note, why don't we go ahead and do that? And now is the time, if you got questions on Push 3, to bring them to my attention. Now, I'm still figuring my way out. I'd say I'd probably have spent a solid month with Push 3, or maybe 2 months at this point. It's hard to keep track of time. Where's my cameras? Here we go. And how is that camera angle? Is it like a little bright? Should it not be so bright? If I can bring it down. No, don't do that. Should be good. I'm in the PST time zone. Treble VT, what up? Nice to see you. All right. Looks good. Great. So this was the project that I was playing before. Here comes music. And then what's cool is if you remember that wide shot I was showing before, just to my right here, there's a second desk setup. And that has basically, now that Push 3 is here, become like a DAW-less setup. Where Push 3 is over there, my Yamaha Reface CP is over there, my hologram pedal is over there. So this main sound you hear, that is my Yamaha Reface CP. Sampled that in, played through to a metronome, got that looping. Is Push 3 a lot different than Push 2? I bought a Push 2 literally the same day the 3 dropped, lol. It's very different in the sense that it is standalone, right? So everything we're doing and everything we're hearing right now, we're not using Ableton Live. This is just using this device right here. I could walk away from my computer, I could be in the car, I could be anywhere, and I could be making music. So it's totally laptop-less. In the way that it integrates with Push as a MIDI controller, it's similar, although there are some improvements to the pads and things like that. This is the standalone version, if that was the version question. Sounds gorgeous. Love that tone. Yeah, I love this sound for sure. And then I've gone ahead and done different things. Like I've imported different samples. Let's unsolo that actually. And let's unarm that. I'm going to stop all these clips for a moment and get some of this going. I guess another big difference is this visual here, like being able to see Ableton's session view. I find myself on this screen a lot. Unless I'm tweaking parameters, if I'm doing any kind of performing or looping or something, I'm on this screen, which is something that I don't think Push 2 has. I almost wonder if they could add it in an update. This is a great addition here. And solo. So this vocal sample here is a simpler instrument. I've imported a bunch of samples in here from Splice and various sample packs that I have, and I'm able to turn those very easily into instruments. So if I go into note mode, you can see the waveform there. And on this track, you can see that I have pitch loop 89, which is like a granular delay. I've got like a regular ping pong delay here, and I've got my basic audio processing rack, which I was able to just import in. Getting things onto the Push is done via Wi-Fi. So if I just have my computer here and I'm on the same Wi-Fi as my computer, Push shows up in my places, and I can click and drag things like sample packs. I can open up the projects from Push 3 on here, etc. So it's cool. Let's start a new project though. New set, save changes. Fine, I'll save that because I deleted a track before we started. So we've opened up a new set here. Let me load up a cool sound that I think kind of shows you what these pads are capable of. Let me load up a guitar sound. Now I've got Ableton Live Suite. So in that, any of the Ableton Live packs I can download and get on my on the Push. This wheel, very, very good for navigation. I can go back, I can scroll, I can click. There's forward buttons and stuff. In certain contexts that works. Let's find guitar open. So here's a guitar sound, which I think there's actually other presets. Yeah, guitar amped. Let's get a guitar amped sound. But I don't want anything too crazy. What is this soft tremolo? I'll go back and start from the blank one. So right from here, let's add a device to this track. I'm gonna go to my user library. I'm gonna add my basic audio processing rack. I'm gonna go to my mixer. Just bring that down. But then also within the mixer, we can adjust send. So let's add a bit of reverb. And let's add a bit of delay. And let's bring our tempo down. Say 90 for now. You see how I'm like kind of effortlessly sliding there? It's really good for bends. Which I think with the guitar sound makes things sound, you can get like a pretty natural bending sound. But if you notice on this bend, I'm not leaving that pad to do that. Here, let me try to get a little less bright so you can see a little more of the definition between the pads. Maybe that's a little better. How does it look now, Treble VT? I think the visual should be a little bit better. So right now we're set up in fourths mode, which is how I like to play notes on Push, and I think it's like the default way. You can play scales up or across. So actually that's kind of similar to a guitar. Which is interesting. The bends are interesting to me because they still have a touch strip here. But I don't usually find myself reaching for the touch strip anymore. Because of that. I'm going to fix my... There we go. That's probably better. Yeah, okay. So the lighting is better now. The pads look like they feel great for bends. They do feel great. I think like there's a little bit of a, like with any instrument, I think there's a little bit of learning and fundamentals and technique, because that means you have to be a lot more disciplined with your finger position and stuff. So you don't get random bends when you don't want it. But what's cool about all that bendy stuff, for this instrument, we're only going like left and right bend, but there's also like vertical, and there's pressure, aftertouch and all that. But all that can be adjusted under expression. For instance, like the in tune location, I think this is cool. You can change that to like wherever your finger lands. So if on this note, I land all the way to the right, that note is in tune. If I land all the way to the left, it's in tune. And then bending applies from there. You can change that to pad. So now if I land to the right, that's sharp. If I land to the left, that's flat. You can also change the in-tune width, and then you can adjust the slide height. So it's almost like the degree to which you're able to bend. So let's change that to 20 millimeters. I'm able to bend a lot more. It's like the degree to which you're able to bend a note. And you can adjust that for your comfort. And that's per note, right? So I can hold this note nice and solid and just bend the note on top. This note won't be affected. That's some MPE stuff for you. On this, just so we can get a feel for like the navigating around, let me actually go back, exit this. I've got my basic audio processing rack, the sampler, which is like inside the guitar instrument rack. If I want to add something before basic audio processing, all I have to do is go to add while the instrument was selected, go to device, audio effects, and let's find pedal. This also has a very satisfying click to it you probably can't hear, but so if I add pedal, which is like overdrive pedal, right? But what do you say we add amp and cab to this as well? Device. Actually, did I do this already? I've done most of this work already. And I made a rack called guitar. Guitar already has amp, pedal, a tuner, because I made this for a real guitar, not a MIDI guitar. So I'm going to delete that, which means I'm going to hold delete. I'm going to press that pedal that I added and get rid of it because there's one already in this rack. Let's lower the gain. We've got chorus. Let's bring the pedal down. Is this instrument itself simpler, or is it a pack, or what? The guitar instrument itself, I believe, is made with sampler. And the sound is from a pack called guitar and bass. Yo, Samuel Messiah in chat. Long time no see. Welcome back, my friend. So now that this has an amp, a pedal, and a cab effect on it, I think that sounds pretty damn good. Let me go here. I'm going to add a little more reverb. I don't know. How do you think that sounds? I think that sounds kind of pretty close to real. Pretty convincing in some circumstances. Especially when it's about to get layered with things. And the reason I bring that up is because obviously there's a lot of talk about, oh, there's no plugin support on Push 3. Curious to hear all your thoughts on that. And the one thing I want to point out is that like Ableton, I think, has been putting in a lot of effort in making their own built-in stuff that sounds good. Maybe just for the sake of that, or maybe in preparation of a standalone box like this. Because when I think about realistic guitars, I think previously, or realistic sampled instruments in general, I might think, oh, I need Contact for that or whatever. But they've been slowly but surely building instruments and libraries that are pretty realistic sounding. Let's go to another MIDI track and add another layer. This time we'll add like a synthy kind of thing. Let's go to packs. There's something called Drone Lab. Let's go to instruments. Let's go to pad sounds. And I have preview turned off right now, but I can turn that on, but I hope it's not too loud. Not too loud. I believe this is an MPE enabled instrument. And before we even get going here, I'm going to go user library, basic audio processing. One thing I really want to figure out how to do, and I don't know if it's quite possible yet, is to add an original or a default template, a default live set. But one thing I forgot actually ahead of starting this is in my files, I have sets. I have a set that, well, whatever, I'm not going to get into it now. Yeah, sets library. If I go down to templates, I forgot that I even did this because like I said, things have been so crazy. Or maybe I didn't do that. I believe I made some templates. Yeah, I can see MIDI and audio there as well. So eventually I'll figure that out. Projects, templates. Yeah, there's nothing in there. I'm going to save like a preset template so I don't have to load stuff every single time. Okay. Too loud. I love the visuals here of the mixer. That's actually really cool. Oraf, nice to see you. Let's play with this sound for a bit. Let's just create some type of drone, basically. Add a bit more reverb to this. Does somebody have a preferred key for us to be in today? I'll choose a scale. Key. First one I see in chat. D major. Thank you, Gary. I got that D major loaded up. So here we are in D. So now how about like looping this or making a clip? First, I'm going to turn on fixed length recording, and fixed length we'll set to 4 bars. I'll also turn on the metronome, and I'm going to switch the metronome sound to the click sound. It doesn't save that by default. Every project that I open, every time I start using Push, I have to change the metronome sound. I hope they can change that with a firmware update. First, let's just record a very simple MIDI clip. Like a drone-y kind of thing. So that's recorded. I used fixed length so I don't have to mess with it too much. We can see in the clip, we can see all those notes. I can scroll through and select all the different notes. Like let's say one was a bit off. I want that to be closer to the downbeat. I can very easily just nudge that over to the downbeat. Let's say the velocity was too high. I could adjust the velocity. And then of course I can adjust the actual note. But we don't really need to do that right now. This is really well done navigation. There's select all and there's deselect all. And also as I scroll through this, I can select like particular notes. All those notes, just I'm selecting at random right now. But let's say, oh, I want all those notes to be longer. I can go and turn that up. So hopefully you can see all those notes growing on screen. But I think we actually just ran into a bug, which is something that I run into occasionally, where it kind of like froze. It like didn't know what to do. So I think they're for sure rolling out more updates. See, right now I can't even select or deselect all. Little buggy there, eh? After I change the length. So now I can't even change anything. Let me see if I can break out of the bug by going over to another instrument. Of course the go command still works. Bishop 91 says, dang, if I had the money, it'd be all over Push 3. The thing looks fun. It is. you. I'm gonna run the metronome and just rehearse this guitar part really quick. I actually might bring the tempo down. Actually hit record there, but let me quickly hit capture, and we have capture MIDI on this thing. So that just kind of was recording in the background the whole time, and I wasn't quite in time there, right? But we can quantize, and I'm gonna bring the quantization amount down to like 75%, so it's not so robotic, but we still get snapped to a grid. Has worked again. And that top note, boom, 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 was like too hard. Hit it too hard, right? So I'm just going to bring the velocity down of that note. Awesome. Now I do want to tweak the guitar sound a little bit. Start here. Let's get rid of the low frequencies. How do you think that sounds, chat? I think the drone is probably like a little loud. But if you notice, we were having that problem with selecting notes in a clip, and it didn't give me that problem here on this clip. So what I talked about, breaking out of the bug, if we go back over to this, and now we're here, suddenly now we can reselect notes. So all those notes I made long for no reason, I could go back, and let's see if this works again, or if we get locked up. I've selected those notes. I should turn the length down. Cool. And we're kind of back in business there. So my point there, like I'm not like apologizing for Ableton or anything. I think there's a lot of bugs that they have to fix. But nothing, there are bugs that I encounter, but it's not like stuff that happens every time, if that makes sense. Like it's not like, oh, every time I load a MIDI clip, this freezes and it doesn't work. I haven't really encountered any bugs like that. I've encountered bugs that happen occasionally and then I can somehow break out of them. So if the selecting notes thing is broken here, or if it freezes up here, if I just hop over to another clip and I kind of go into that same mode here, usually it breaks me out of the bug and I can bounce back over to something else. So it's early in the product's life. I give a little bit of sympathy to Ableton to fix some of the bugs. And it's also like a lot of the bugs are not like fully breaking my workflow because I can break out of them usually. Yo, what's up, Kat? Nice to see you back. Welcome. We've loaded up with Live's default MIDI and default audio tracks, 2 and 2. If I want to add a drum kit, what do we do? I'm going to hit the add button. Now, right now, if I hit add device, it's going to add something on top of my guitar track, and that's not what we want. We want to add a new MIDI track. So we just select MIDI track. We can go to drums, and we can go to, I'm going to load up an empty drum rack to show you all a little bit of this process and talk a little bit about how it needs to improve. Empty drum rack here, right? So I want to add a sample, so I'm going to hit the swap button, and it's automatically going to bring me to the drum hits folder, which kind of makes sense, but is also a little bit annoying because I want to go into my user library and use my own samples from sample packs. Okay, that wasn't too hard to navigate over there. Let's navigate to some drum one shots. Let's add that kick. Great, we've got that kick. Now I want to go over to this sample and add another sample. But if you noticed, it went back to the default folder, which is drum hits, which is really annoying because I have to keep going back to my user library, keep going back to my sample packs. And let's say I only want it to work in one pack. You know, you get that new sample pack. You want to use all the samples from it. Well, here I have to continuously navigate back every time I choose a new pad. So that is a little bit annoying. Let's add that drum. Hajay, what's good? New to the live streams. Your YouTube videos inspired me a lot. Much love. Much love to you, my friend. I'm so glad the videos helped. Welcome to your first live stream. We're going to be back streaming regularly, by the way, folks. We're going to be live at least every Thursday. If we can add a Monday stream back into the mix, I'll be stoked. How is the transition from the M50Xs to the HD650s? I believe you're talking about my headphones. Did I have M50Xs? Is that what they were called? Oh, yeah. I think there's a big difference. These headphones right here, these are some of my favorite headphones that I've ever had from a sound and a mixing point of view. Like the open backness of it. Are these the 650s? I don't know if it's the open backness of it that makes me like be able to sit for longer and do it. But also the sound is great. I find myself very sensitive to mid-range sounds. So a lot of headphones I feel come across harsh in that frequency spectrum. So these sound great. I did bring the Audio Technicas on my trip, as well as my in-ear monitors on the trip, because I don't want to be traveling with open back headphones where everybody around me can hear everything that I'm doing. All right, let's continue to add to this drum kit. Just a few more samples. And let me go into the Lander folder. We could also add a field recording to this. I'm just going to add that. All right, cool. We have a hi-hat, kick, and a snare. That's good enough for now. So right off the bat, for editing these sounds, I could transpose them. That's the first thing that it kind of gives us. But then you can go into the actual simpler and see all the individual samples and, you know, adjust them accordingly, like in simpler. Would it be worth the trouble to set up a few go-to kits for Push 3 so you don't have to do this every time? 100%, TJ, and that is the workflow that I'm falling into. Like with the guitar, for instance, you saw this guitar rack. You can save things. I actually discovered this the other day. I didn't realize it, but you can actually save specific things. Like this guitar rack, I can save it there. So if I built that here on Push, I can save it. If I ended up building an instrument on Push, I could save it. This drum kit, same thing. But some things are easier to do on desktop, and you can easily click and drag things over like kits and stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. you do have to make sure that the samples and everything that you're using match. So. All right, this has a lot of high end on it, and I kind of want to roll that off. I could do it on the whole thing, but I think this especially needs it. That's fine for now. Let's jump back over here to the drum rack, and I want to add my... So again, with user library here, that's what I'm using a lot. Pre-made racks and stuff. I can add basic audio drums here, which means we should bring the volume down of this track. So now on the whole thing, I've got the basic audio processing has made things a lot faster too, because I can quickly do high cut, low cut, and add some reverb to things. Okay, now one other thing I usually end up doing is on the hi-hat, I want to add a delay only on the hi-hat. Let's try it. Device, audio effects. I'm going to find delay. Let's go to the vintage delay and use the sloppy delay. And now that is only on the hi-hat. I was slightly concerned that that would be a little difficult to do on push, but it's proven to not be so difficult. Just nudging a note around. Let's nudge that back. So I quantize, but we're still keeping a little bit of human feel by not quantizing 100%. In the drum rack, we can also access the drum rack mix. Let's talk about something with the master channel, actually. First, let's set up a sidechain compressor. I want to show you this process because I obviously do this a lot. Now, I'm going to make sure I'm not on the instrument, but I'm on the effects rack because I want this new effect to come after this effects rack, not in between. So, hit the add button, device, audio effects. Let's find compressor. And we've added a compressor, but we want to put it into sidechain mode. So let's go deeper into the compressor, go to sidechain, turn sidechain on. It's on. Cycle through all of our potential sources. And we selected the drum rack, but we specifically want within the drum rack the kick. Back to the compressor. Oh yeah, back to main on the compressor is what I want to do. And then bring the threshold down. So if I actually go to the guitar and mute it. And you can all hear that now, right? We have our sidechain set up. Now, a really annoying thing is, now I want to set up another sidechain compressor, but I have to just like do that process over again. Not user library, audio effects. So there's no copy and paste for a effect, as far as I know. Not track to track. Let's say, for instance, actually, let me experiment. I'm going to hold duplicate. I'm going to click that compressor. That did not actually do it. No. So that doesn't even like duplicate the effect. But there's no way to copy from one to the other. Are you using Push completely standalone? Yes, Joshua. We are using it completely standalone right now. All right. Let's bring the threshold down. Let's go into the compressor. Turn sidechain on. Find the drum rack, find the channel. Now we've got sidechain on the guitar. I should make music for little cartoon films. Yeah, that would be great. Why not? Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. All right, what do you all think so far here with Push? What do you all think? What questions do you have? I want to stop and make sure I answer any questions. If I missed a question, please retype it in chat. And you can always write my name in the message and it'll highlight orange for me so I can better see it. Master channel, let me show you something, because you know on my beats I'm always using Waves J37 like a tape emulation thing, right? So what's my solution for that on here if we can't use plugins? First of all, if I was actually finishing this beat, I would bring it over to live and finish it there. But if I want more of that sound here, I can hit the add button, go to device, user library, and by an artist named Elephant, E-L-P-H-N-T, he's made a tape rack using Ableton native devices. So on the master, I can add this. I can add wow. Not too much. Flavor here built into Push, even though I can't use an external plugin. What's the difference between Push 3 and Push 2 other than completely standalone and more expressive keys? And Bishop answers, Push 3 can run Fortnite in 4K. But seriously, Joshua, Samuel, you pretty much articulated the differences right there. That's the difference between Push 3 and Push 2. Completely standalone plus more expressive pads. So, I mean, there's a slightly different layout, slightly different navigational things. I will say Push 3 is much heavier than Push 2, but those are the big differences. Could you sing or do you only produce? Occasionally I sing, for sure. Does it also have 60 FPS? Yeah, and it runs like a, what is it, a Ryzen 4090, right? That's what it's called? That's the cool thing? Yeah, right. If overclocked, it can do 60. I got it doing 120 in certain circumstances. Do you feel like using the Push is less efficient or more roundabout process than just using your computer? Good question, Almas. There is just a different experience with standalone music making, in my opinion. Standalone being like you're not at the computer at the DAW. I think the limitations of a standalone device are what make it more creative. But when I'm working at this other station I have over here, away from my computer, it's a standing desk too, so this probably plays into it. I feel like I'm there jamming, I'm there fully present in making the music, and I'm like locked in. There hasn't been anything yet. Well, there's a few functional things. They haven't been discouraging yet. There's been no limitation that has been totally discouraging yet. Effort CD Gold is in the chat. Dr. Samuel, if you do exclamation point new member, you will get directions on how to get in the Discord. How long do you think it should take to make a song in a home studio? You could make a song in a day. Why not? That's very it's a very loose question, Bryce, because like if you have a clear concept, an idea for a song, you can make a song in a day. Let's say you already have the lyrics written, or you already have the concept, or you have a chord progression in your head. Like you can make it happen in a day. Other songs, it takes a while. Depends on focus and like how focus and how much of a clear vision you have. Do you give critiques on beats and mixing? I need some help, fam. Yes, 3 Diglets. We do track review streams. We usually do them every other month. I think I'm going to do the next one at the beginning of July. So if you want to participate in that, becoming a member is the best way to do that. That is for YouTube members. That gets you access to the Discord, and that is where all of the submissions come from. We usually do like a 3-hour full show with members. So you could either become a member today, 3 Diglets, which you've been very generous, super chats. I thank you very much. You could become a member today, or you could wait till one of those track feedback streams happens, which I always kind of announce it and I always schedule it on the channel, and become a member then, and submit your track then. We have a lot of fun during those streams because you can listen to everybody else's music, get to know the community, but there's also a lot of tips that apply universally, I think. I got a chance to see Daltrick demo the Push 3 on Tuesday night at the NYC Ableton Artist Meeting. I saw clips from that. That looked really awesome. Yeah, I don't think Daltrick has any like official videos out on her channels or anything yet, but I hope she does soon. Am I crazy? I don't think she put one out yet. She was doing like a Carly Rae Jepsen cover. And I think that is pretty cool because she's doing the full performance setup with Push 3. Yeah, she hasn't uploaded anything yet. But when she does, y'all should check that out. And hopefully we'll have Daltrick in the studio again for Beatober. If I didn't answer anybody's questions or you have follow-up questions, please let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and add a bass to all of this. Let's add a MIDI track. Bass sounds kind of a little bit dead though, so let's add a few effects here. The first one being amp. We'll add a bass amp. The next thing we'll do is add a cab. Cabinet. 4x10 bass cab. And what do you think a pedal device needs to go in between an amp and a cab? I think yes, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's go over to pedal. Bass front of stage. That's fine, but we got to get this thing compressed. So let's add basic audio on top. Device. So can you see a little bit how fast it's going? How fast the navigation is, even though we do have to scroll through stuff, right? How are the sends? Can you group tracks for it? Can you group tracks for it? Well, there are sends. If I hit the add button, I can add a return track and I can build whatever I want on that. So let's say, here, let's build a return track for fun. Let's put pitch loop 98 on it. Or 89, sorry. Granular delay. Feedback. Let's turn the feedback up. Let's turn the dry wet. It's a return track, so we'll turn the dry wet up actually. And now we have an additional return track. So this is return, C. So let me go to something like the guitar. And let me look at the guitar's mix. Now it has added a knob here for return track C. Start sending my tracks to it. So you can set up all these different return tracks. Uh-oh. Don't do that. Uh-oh. No. Stop rising. Pitch loop. That was very high pressure situation. Too much feedback. That was a bad example of an effect to add. Did you see me frantically trying to get there? But we got there. But yeah, I was panicking, but we can just click these buttons and literally select the return tracks and edit them or add to them, whatever. And like I said, you hit the add button, you can add your own return track. So on the guitar, I'm using the return reverb. I don't have the reverb on the actual track. Woo! That was a lot of pressure. What did I want to add? Oh, I wanted to try to add a field recording. Shh, not yet. And even a vocal. We should add a vocal as well. Bryce St. Louis, do you have any advice for recording studio audio? I have a Volt 1 and an Aston Origin mic I just bought to record a song I wrote, and I'm in the recording and mixing phase. I've never done either before. You got to ask me a little more specific question. I mean, you have the gear, you've got a song, right? You want to find a pretty dead space, a pretty dead room. If you got furniture, if you got blankets you could put up on the wall, if you have any kind of echo or slap pack, that's going to help a lot. What's up, Miss Nadia? Nice to see you. Welcome back. Hello, Elias. Welcome back as well. Let me quickly add a sample to this track. I'm going to go to my user library. I'm going to go to my field recordings. Love these. Eaton Canyon. A little bit of water running in the background, maybe. Rain? I don't think this is a rain vibe. I think city vibe is fine here. We're loading that. I saw Nefertiti's question. How's the loading time for each project when you're opening a pre-made song? That's a good question. I haven't really thought critically about that yet. But we can try to save this and then load another project and then load it back up and look at the timing there. Let's go here. Let's crop in on that start point. Let's actually get this clip playing. I'm going to add, say it with me, basic audio processing rack. We're going to get rid of a lot of those low frequencies. Basically all of them. Even add a bit of reverb. I don't want that. Who's honking their horn in my field recording? So loud. At least it's there. Yo, 3 Diglets, welcome to VIP. Is it strong enough to support vocals straight into the device preamps? I think the real answer is like technically no, but also yes. So we have 2 1/4-inch inputs on the back. I've used both of them. I use them for guitar, they work great. I use them for my Yamaha keyboard, great. Now for mic, it gets a little more complicated. You have to drive the gain pretty high, and there is a high gain mode that they recommend you use for vocals if you're using a mic. But yeah, you have to do a high gain mode. There's going to be a bit of noise on it because you're at high gain. Now, one experiment I ran, which you'll see in my push video when it comes out, is I had my field recorder with me, and what I did was I ran the output of that to one of the inputs, and I had this live, like turned on live. Now you're going to get a bit of noise there. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm using a condenser mic with the Push 3. Would I use it for the final product of a vocal recording? No. Would I do a little bit of sampling of my own voice or just do a scratch track or something? I think yes. In certain contexts, if you're doing like an ambient context or like just sampling a vocal, it's not as important to have as clean and pristine vocal. I think it's totally fine. Let's do this for a second because I think it's cool to show this off. There's a little buzz in this field recording. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I can definitely hear it though. Here's something that I have encountered multiple times, and let's see if we can break out of it. This is a bug or something. And if I'm here in life breath, I go to EQ, I'm no longer seeing waveform here. There should be a waveform here. Like if I jump over to the drums and I go to the simpler instrument, I should... Oh, there I see a waveform. Interesting. Let's see if that's universal. So EQ 8, as you all know, I should be seeing the wave. Where is the wave? So first of all, let's run an experiment. Hey, what's up, John Jill? Nice to see you. I'm gonna hit save. And when I hit save, it's going to save it, and it's going to give it its own title, Around the Twilight, which I'm totally fine with that. A randomly generated title is fine. John Jill, yeah, it has been a minute. We're back to streaming on YouTube. We're going to be back at least every Thursday. If we can add Monday streams into the mix, you let me know what y'all think of that. But I think a Monday morning like beat making session or something would be cool. And if you all have ideas for things you want to see on streams you want to come hang out in, let me know. Coffee hour. We can all enjoy our coffee together. So we've saved that. Let's jump back in and open up the project that I started the day with. Curious Eagle. Or I can open up a different project. Let's open up Under the Epoch. I don't even remember what this is, but I can hit play on it and you can all be surprised along with me. We are loading the project. That wasn't too long. I didn't time it. That's live guitar loaded in, by the way. This was a jam I was messing around with when I first got back. Oh gosh, I don't know what that is. There's a little demo I was working on. All right, we just do that to see if we can jump back and forth easily. Let's go back to Around the Twilight. What was that, like six human counted seconds? Interesting here, I'm still not getting the waveform on EQ8. That has got to be a bug. Now, if you all want to, let's take a short break here. Let's hit the power button, hold. Would I like to turn push off? Yes. Now it's going to go right into shutting down. If I had made any changes to that project, it would have asked me if I wanted to save changes. Also, if push is on battery power and it dies while you're using it, it creates an autosave of your project. You don't lose your progress. Or at least in the instances where I've had that happen to me, I have not lost my progress. Now, how about time this chat, how long it takes to turn on, because this is a little bit long. I mean, I don't have a huge complaint about it, but it's pretty long. Let's put on some jams for a minute because I'm going to want to drink a little more water. If you're just tuning in, thank you so much for hanging out on stream with me. We are back to live streaming every Thursday here on YouTube. Bring your questions, get ready to check out new gear and new sounds and learn about making music and just hang out in the studio with me making music. I think it's going to be a good time. If you want to support the channel and get a cool badge next to your name, like a lot of people in the chat have, you can hit the join button and become a member. Does push get warm during a session? I would say it's warm right now. If I'm playing the keys, I don't really notice it. It's a bit warm. If I put my hand under here, it's like a bit hot. There's a specific part of it here. We don't need to be plugged in right now. There's a side thing here for, I assume this is for heat dissipation or something. This part does get a bit hot. Startup time was around 30 to 32 seconds. Yeah. So if you're starting up making music, press the on button, take a drink of water, get yourself some water, stay hydrated, and then come back and your push will be on. Once it's on though. So it's not a huge deal to me. This is giving some MPC Key 61 vibes with the bugs. I don't know too much about the MPC 61 bugs or anything. But for me, what I'll say is like they haven't been game breaking. Like it wasn't showing that waveform, which is a little frustrating because I wanted to EQ out a noise. But Let's see if doing that restart actually fixed the problem. But other than that, any of the little bugs that I've pointed out, usually I can break out of them somehow. And they're not like so detrimental to the workflow. I don't know. I have a little bit of patience being that the thing just came out. Tiffany Anthony, hello, welcome. How are you? And hello, Tom Adams Music. Thank you for being here. Do I use any other DAWs? Asks Rupak. No, I do not use any other DAWs. I only use Ableton Live. Way back in the day, I used to use Reaper. Yes, as Miss Nadia reminds us, be sure to like the stream. Don't forget to like the stream. Go to EQ. Look at that. Was I on the wrong screen, chat? That actually might not have been a bug. I may have been on the wrong screen. I don't know. Somebody will have to check the tape and tell me. If I solo this track and I add a band, an EQ, or I go to EQ band 3, I can adjust the frequency of it. So you would not think this would be easy to do on a device without a mouse. But I would say it actually is pretty easy. I'm looking for that buzz tone. Is it there? I can't find it. I'm trying to listen hard for it. It's somewhere there. It's multiple frequencies for sure. Well, let's go over to band 8 and let me try to just sweep it out. What did I do? Oh, it's not looping. That's why. Loop. And let's play this clip. I see what happened. I didn't originally set it up as a loop. Loop length, turn that up. Okay, back here. Now let's do the high cut. It's somewhere around 4 hertz or above that or something. All right, I don't know. I don't need to be like doing this random subtractive EQ thing the whole time. Thanks, Tom Adams, for jumping in and saying hello. Wait, you don't need to connect it with Ableton at all. That is correct. This is a fully standalone instrument. A fully standalone instrument. I'm going to add a Midi track. Now let's add our own simpler in. Right away it tells us hit the hot swap button to add a preset or a sample. We're going to add in a sample. User library, sample packs. I have a specific vocal sample in there. I think we can just grab from that. What are some one shots? Preview. These are all kind of minor key-ish. Let's add that for now. So it has library and computer in it. That's right. It's got its own library. You can sync it up to Ableton. You can download the packs right on here. All right. So that was originally in E major, allegedly. So let's go back here and let's transpose that accordingly. global. And that's where our transposition is. If we were in E major, we need to come down 2 semitones. Let's check. No. Let's warp it. We have warp settings here, of course. Let's warp in a complex warp mode. Reverb and all that jazz, so let's go ahead and get that ready to go. Reverb. Sound works best. Put a little bit of delay on that. I realize I'm like hearing sound in the background. I'm also trying to hit spacebar to stop it from playing, but I'm not using my computer. Everything is messed up in my brain. I'm hearing the sounds in the background, but it's the field recording, so I'm like, what is that? Simpler. What do you think of that? If it's just not warped. I'm just gonna lay that in. 2, 3, 4. Just one of those. And let's do a little more delay on there. What's good? Thank you for jumping in here. Okay, one more thing, and I'm going to use a little bit of a trick to add another sample into this. First, let's set up the sidechain compressor as we have in the past. Going into the compressor, going to sidechain, turning sidechain on, going to the drum rack, finding the kick drum. Finding the kick drum. There it is. And then going back to the main page and bringing that threshold down. All right, that's there. Beautiful. So now if I go to my tracks, I can hit duplicate on that vocal. We've duplicated the whole track now. I can go to this page and I can swap out that sample. Why I have that if they're the exact same things. Let's try to add that in. Let me tune this actually, that will make a lot more sense. Simpler, global, transpose. Duplicated the track, so duplicated the clip as well. We don't need that. There it is. All right, I like that a lot. Are you going to try controlling push with a MIDI controller? Maybe not today, but that is super simple to do. And I will have that featured in my Push 3 video, which will come out probably in a couple weeks. It could come out sooner, but I think we're gonna skip the 4th of July week because y'all, American people, will probably be out and about. Let's duplicate this track again. And let's add one more vocal sample into the mix. But let's not make the same mistake we made last time. Let's delete that clip. And let's swap this sample out. Let me see if I have other packs with vocals. I do. I don't know how this is going to be. Oh, these are all minor key. These are not going to match the mood, I think. Higgs in the house. Welcome to the party. I don't think those are going to fit. Let me see if in the Lander folder I have. Not that. That's not going to work. I think another key to this is having very good, or knowing the packs you have, first of all, because I'm not really sure in each one of these packs. I'm just downloading one shots here and there, so I don't have a very clear knowledge of what is in every single pack. So having a good file structure and having things organized is definitely something you want on Push, because when you don't have a keyboard and mouse, you definitely have to think carefully. back to main. Let's bring that start line in. And let's bring the attack up. All right, now let's go back to tuning. Between these vocal samples. And I want that note to come down. So far. Back to this. See everything. I was doing one thing, but I clearly was not. I think there's a way to group tracks, I just don't know it yet. I do have they have the manual online, so if you're curious about anything that the Push can and can't do, I would just look up the manual and Control F and type in what you're wondering. So let me Control F, group tracks. You can group tracks by holding the select button and then pressing the lower display. Select. Maybe not. Use the corresponding lower display. Oh, that's probably... Let me see. I think you're lying to me. Manual. You can access additional track options by holding Shift and then pressing the display button under the track name. Yes, that's true. Ah, there's group. You can group tracks by holding the select button and then pressing the lower display button for each track. Okay. Let's group all these vocals together just as an experiment. Let's group. That didn't work. White Whisker, nice to see you. And Ayo, thank you. I'm glad you're liking the sound. All right, help me, chat. This is breaking my brain a little bit. Use the corresponding lower display button. Okay, start from the beginning. Access additional track options by holding Shift and pressing the track. Do I let go shift? That happens. Use the corresponding lower display buttons to select. Rename lets you rename the track. You can group tracks by holding the select button and... Oh, I get it. I get it. Let's go here. And let's ungroup. Now let's hit select, select. No, select, select, select. You can group tracks by holding the select button and then pressing the lower display button for each track that you want to group. Then hold the shift button and press one of the lower display buttons from the selected track and select group. Can somebody help me with that? Oh God, it went away. Chat. If it said hold select, you were holding shift. Okay, so what do I start by doing? Hold select and press the lower display button for the track that I want. All right, I did that. I did that. Then hold the shift button and hit group. Did that group them together or did it just make one group? That just made one group with that. So that just did what we already did. Am I crazy, chat? I'm going to ungroup these. It seems like I should be able to select multiple tracks, but it doesn't seem like that's actually happening. Oh, why does this work like this? I want to make this smaller. Group tracks, group tracks. I think you need to hold the select button and then press the lower display button. Okay, ready? I'm going to hold, oh, you can't see me what I'm doing. I'm going to hold the select button. Press this and press this and press this. I don't think that's doing anything. I'm holding the select button. You can see? Tell me if I'm wrong, chat. Tell me if I'm wrong. How different are the buttons on push 3? Do you mean like the notes? The notes are much more sensitive and you can glide between them. They almost have like a feather touch to them. I think it says shift. You guys are messing with me now. You can group tracks by holding the select button and then pressing the lower display button for each track that you want to group. I think I understand this. I understand how to make a group. But for one reason or another, I'm not able to select. I think it would be highlighting these tracks is the problem. Maybe I have to be in a different view. Not that view. I think it would highlight all three. Get the track options first. I hear you. That could be it. But that goes away if I let go of shift. And if I press select again, that goes away as well. So that was a good guess. I can group a single track. Do you think I can find like a YouTube video for it? Group tracks push 3. Group tracks on push 3. I think I'm not going to be able to. Oh, this is a 15-minute thing.
Record external instruments using Midi. You can use Midi via the USB port, or you can use the Midi output port.
I'm going to guess that this doesn't have it. I also don't need to do this right now, so I don't know why we're spending that much time on it. I'll figure it out. I know people like stress, oh, read the manual, read the manual, read the manual. But this is an instance where it's like, okay, I read the manual. That doesn't mean it's going to solve everything. All right, and just for the sake of this, let's ungroup that. I'm jumped on this idea, let's hit that save button really quick. Let's jump back to the master as well. And on the master, let's add another thing that I've added from my user library, which is performance effects. And it says the music is very loud compared to my voice. I got you. I'm dumb. I'm not using the main output. How's that? So that's like the main idea, right? So I keep hitting my space bar to stop this, but I'm not using the computer. Whoa, a Gemini Monkey with the crazy super chat. Gemini Monkey. Not only that, a longtime member with the gold badge dropping a $50 super chat. You're crazy, Gemini Monkey. You are crazy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Shout out to Gemini Monkey in chat. That was very kind. I appreciate you. Thank you. So here's something I wanted to show. So now that we have this main idea, okay, great. You have a main idea. Like, how do you, if there's no arrangement mode, how do you start even building a track? Well, we could just do a little bit of subtractive stuff here. So let's hit the duplicate button, which is going to duplicate the scene. I'm going to do that again. So we have 3. So I'm going to go through here and let's figure out a good intro sequence, which is probably like a guitar and the drone, right? So I'm going to delete everything besides the guitar and the drone in that beginning section. Oh, but launch that scene. We have bass in here that we don't need as well. We have an audio track that we don't need, so let's get rid of that. Everything fits on one page. Great. Then here, I'm just going to make a second little loop here with drums. Now I'm going to play this scene just for the sake of duplicating it. I'm duplicating it again so we have multiple. So first scene, this is our intro. Next scene has drums. In fact, I want to go and edit this scene really quick. 1, 2, and everything after beat 2 on bar 4, I'm going to delete. This is a specific drum clip for this section. So yes, there's no arranger here, there's no arrangement view, but we can start composing the structure of our track. So we've just made a different drum loop there for that specific instance. The next scene will just be bass. So that's one instance. Another instance is during the intro, how about we go to the guitar and we do a little bit of filtering. Like a fade in. I have automation turned on, so let's hit record here. Go here. You know what? That didn't record because I don't have that track armed. Let me do that again. Apologies. Here we go. So now that automation is recorded. Neon Void says push 3 is just as good as push 2 plus a computer, but slower. Practically there is zero difference. What's crazy is there's the big difference you kind of glossed over there is like push 2 plus a computer, right? So this is push 2 minus a computer. I think that's huge. I love my push 3 and used it for standalone at least for 10 streams, but when I switched back to controller mode with an Apple Studio, but when I mean, sure. I don't know. I think, like I said, I think there's nuance to a standalone device that I really like, and I think they can complement each other well. And I think if that's your main takeaway after watching this session, which you probably just tuned in anyway, that it's not a very nuanced take. Of course, you can say, "Hey, my iPhone has a more powerful computer than this thing." Yeah, it's okay. Actually, I want to put this here and this here. And I want to do one more quick edit here on the drums. Let me select basically half of these notes. Speed run, speed run, speed run. Would this be faster on a computer? Yeah, 100%. But I just want to demonstrate what we can do. And if I was not at my computer or I did not have my computer with me and I was just working out in the wild, this is what I would do. Maybe I would say, oh, I'll save this part of the process for when I do go to a computer. Because again, I don't think push 3 needs to exist in a vacuum where you don't also have a computer. So the first half of that is empty. And then the second half, that's not what I want to do. Second half, I want to go here and we'll do a similar filtering thing. Arm this track. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll start here. Okay, the other thing I want to do is a low cut. Good. I probably need to add a few more like bells and whistles here. But I think that's a good intro. Uh-oh, but I've done something wrong. Or the low cut needs to come way down here. Did I not record that for here? Okay, there we go. Cycle through 5 different volumes every time. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. You were able to access the master volume directly. I think you have basically no reason to be touching your master volume throughout a session working. If you want to change like your output volume, like say you're using this as a performance tool or something, you should be using the main output or something. But your master should be staying at 0. So I don't think that that's a big criticism. I just want people to avoid I think there's a big thing in music production content right now, in music production criticism right now, where an overly negative take and like an overly critical take, which by the way, I've mentioned multiple criticisms throughout this stream. Criticism is a good thing, We should have criticism. We should push the industry forward, and we should be critical of big companies. But it's clear that people often find things to nitpick at for the sake of nitpicking. I think A, it makes people feel like super smart when they can nitpick certain things. And B, I think it attracts a lot of viewers usually. If you can be super negative in a video and say like, this is everything wrong with the blah, 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 I think you can get a lot of hits. And I think people are slowly discovering that. So we're seeing a lot more negative content in our space right now. So it's unfortunate. I used to adjust the Q often, but I see you are not using Q at all, just headphones. Well, I'll adjust the Q. If you want to adjust the Q, you can literally have this all the time on Q. And now every time I reach for this knob, it's Q. So I see what's happening. I need to go in here. But folks, I hope you've been enjoying this stream. I certainly have been. You know what I've been doing lately is just adding a hint of reverb on the drum track. Just a hint. And it's a return reverb too, so. Also check in on the drums. Could we, this is not what I want to be doing, get out of the mix. I want to be here and go to note mode and go here. Go to the delay. I want to turn that delay up a bit. And I might even bring the hi-hat up. Usually I'm like so sick of the hi-hat sound. Says I have push 2 but haven't learned it yet. I'm learning from this. Yeah, you can for sure learn a lot of things from like some of the push 3 content that's coming out for your push 2, because there's a lot of crossover between them. I found that some things where it's like, oh, how do I do this on push 3? I can actually find a push 2 tutorial on how to do certain navigational things and whatnot. Neon, I think like the overly cynical take to say every single push 3 function could have been implemented on the push 2, and the reason they didn't do it was like for marketing. I think that's just like way too cynical, and I don't think that that's actually true. And I don't have the technical knowledge, and I'm kind of gonna doubt that you have the technical knowledge, not knowing much about you, to say that you can't actually make that call over the engineers. I think there's a lot of stuff built in here that definitely couldn't fit into the push 2. And if you want one indicator of that is like how much heavier the push 3 is of the push 2. The push 3 is much heavier. There's more stuff inside the push 3. Push 3 is a lot more powerful. The pads are totally different. They couldn't just push a firmware update and make the pads like have all these MPE capabilities. Yeah, so like my point, Neon Void, is like you're saying, oh, they just did this for marketing, but then you list 3 major things that they included in the push 3 that are totally different than push 2. So like, that's what I'm saying. It's an overly negative, it's an overly cynical take, and we don't need it. Like, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you hanging out. I'm glad you love push 3 and Ableton and push and everything. But you have to, if you want any of your criticism to be heard and taken as constructive, you have to measure it and you have to level it with the reality of the situation. Like, because some of your criticism could actually be true and could actually be valid. But when you make big blanket statements that are overly negative and overly cynical, it kind of like just tanks your validity, unfortunately. But we're not here to do a super big deconstruction of music tech criticism. So I'm not gonna stay too much on that. 3 Diglets says, I'm a fan of Push 4. I agree. And one of the best jokes I saw on the internet was as soon as Push 3 dropped, was a bunch of people were posting like on Reddit and stuff and being like, hey guys, should I buy Push 3 or should I wait for Push 5? Because that's like just what people do on the internet all day. Is like, before Push 3 came out, guys, should I get Push 2 or should I wait? Is Push 3 coming out? So immediately people jumping in and being like, should I get Push 3 or should I wait for Push 4? I thought that was very funny. I just love the mega mind big brain thinkers out there trying to be like, oh, trying to make a big play. Should I get this now or should I wait? It's like, bro, you can indefinitely wait. Should I get the iPhone 17 or should I get the iPhone 14? If I don't get the iPhone 14, if I wait till 17, sure, if you can live without the iPhone from now and then, that's fine. All right, what I wanted to do was add an audio track. Actually, no. I think that's it for today, actually, because I think we've got a really decent beat going here. So I just wanted to show that quick glimpse at making a few custom clips here and working around the arrangement thing by building an arrangement with scenes. Because now this would be super easy to actually bring over into my computer. Tiffany says, I love this song. Yeah, maybe we could work on making it a full track. We could continue working on it. Be like something else here, you know? You ever add your own vocals for fun? Yeah, totally. I do that all the time. In my Push 3 video that will come out soon, you will see me actually do that in real time, like using a mic, sampling into the Push and recording it. So right, I just hit save on that and we've saved. Let me show you quickly how easy this is. I don't think my computer is like properly formatted, but it's enough for me to be able to just show you quickly. So now we're in live. Here I am on my Push. And where's, what am I doing again? Oh yeah, projects. This is called Around the Twilight, right? Now I don't know if I have all the exact same packs installed on my computer that I do on the Push, but we shall see. Let's open up the project here. Yeah, it says some media files are missing. Let's see which ones. I don't know why. This one always shows up as missing. Yes, tried to resolve. No new candidates found. This. That's in like the drone thing. Let me see if I can download this. The stream might crash. So what do you think? Should we try it? PAX Drone Lab. It's 8 gigabytes. So we're not going to be able to download that right now. I forgot that I didn't have that on this computer. Darn it. Must be on my other computer. But anyway, the whole project is here, as you can see, with the clips. That didn't load is this instrument because it's from a pack that I don't have downloaded on my computer. But if I just download that on my computer, it will sync up. I'll do that before the next time we work on this. But it's that seamless. It's like you just literally open up, go into your places, go to Push. You can look at all the projects that are on your Push. You can put projects on Push. You can drag user library things onto Push. It's pretty cool. more mixing and stuff to be done there. But yeah, I think jumping from Push to then jumping to the computer, I think it's a pretty cool workflow. And I think you can get a lot done with Push 3 standalone. And I don't know. I just love the nature of a standalone device. I don't know about you all. What do you think about Push? I wonder if anybody's perception of Push changed during this stream, or if you have any lingering questions. Let's kick back for the last few minutes here. Michael X says this track is killer. Thank you. A lot of encouragement on this track. So maybe we should go ahead and do some finishing. One thing that I'm missing, is when I was working on Music for Ghosts, that was a big project to work on and to work towards, and there was an end goal. So I need another thing to work towards. I'm gonna see if we can get Duncan up here, if I can call him. Duncan! Duncan! He might be sleeping. But we'll have a chance to use the Duncan cam at some point. Nefertiti Gold says, I'm hoping to get a Push 3 for live shows so I can leave that laptop behind. I think that is huge. That could be huge. I really haven't had the ability to test making a live session with it, but I think that's kind of the next thing on my list because it's perfect for that. If I can have zero laptop, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's the first one, Tiffany. It's the first one. Alma says, I think it's an awesome device. I definitely want to start thinking more about getting away from the computer. Yeah, and if you're starting to think about that and you're like, dang, Push is expensive, there are other standalone devices. Oh, let me show you what I got in the mail. He was sleeping. Why are you shedding? How about that camera angle? Where's the cat though? The cat belonged to my nephew, and my nephew moved out, brought the cat. So now there's just a dog. We swapped the cat for the dog. Goop was very happy when we came. Goop was very happy when we came home from Korea, and then Goop met Duncan, and Goop was not very happy. Not R.I.P. Oh, I got up to show you what I got in the mail. The folks at Polyend sent the Polyend Play over. So obviously I haven't not had a chance to get to it, but I want to dig into it for sure and see how it is. But my point there, what made me think of that was a lot of you were talking about, oh, Push 3 is expensive and I like standalone devices. My point is, like, there's a lot of standalone devices that you can start dipping your toe in to standalone music making. For instance, next Thursday, we're going to be working with the 404 on stream. So that is another really powerful device you've seen me use before. There's things like the Novation circuits, the, Electron stuff, all of the above. Still rocking the 404 Mark II and then became Mini Play, hooking up to the PreSonus Eris 3.5. They perform exactly what I need them to do. Yeah, that's a good combo. And became Mini Play. Another part of my trip, which kind of, it lost its spotlight because of Push 3, but the OP1 On my 15-hour flight to Korea, I sat with the manual for this thing and just hashed out learning a bunch of things and watched a bunch of tutorials while on my trip and learned the ins and outs of this thing. I love this. For certain kinds of travel, for certain trips, it's going to be a no-brainer between, like, if my space is limited and I want to travel light, OP1 is amazing. OP1's amazing regardless. In certain instances where I don't want to carry the big Push 3, OP1, OP1, OP1 all the way. I love this thing. I mean, what's cool, another cool thing about traveling with this in a different country is that it has a, here, let me pause the music. It has a radio and you can sample from the radio. So I had found some Korean like traditional music station where I was able to sample from and just
청취자분이 어머니에게 화를 참는 것처럼요. 이런 현상이 청취자분이 어머니에게 화를 참는 것처럼.
Just like random talk radio and then getting that on top.
청취자분이 어머니에게 화를 참는 것처럼요.
You know, like that was a very unique aspect that I didn't consider because I was traveling. Okay, if you're traveling and you've got the FM transmitter, it's cool. Piccolo Black joined us. Reminds me, the air traffic control lo-fi stream is also sick. What is the air traffic control lo-fi stream, White Whisker? I need to know. I need to know what that is. But does anybody who's doing standalone stuff, what standalone devices are you using? I would love to know. And also, channel content, my friends. I've been trying to make like some decent tutorials. I know people love the music theory and the Ableton tutorials. I know people like seeing the new wireless MIDI controller and stuff. What do you all want to see more of on the channel? Lo-fi air traffic control. LoFiATC.com, is that really it? That's very funny. I don't want to get claimed. I don't want to get claimed, but this is really cool. It seems to be a website that mixes lo-fi music and air traffic control stuff. I think that's so cool. I love watching like random live streams of cameras. Like they have certain ones on certain bodies of water where you can watch boats go in and out, or just certain like city cameras. I'm interested in the controller version of Push 3, not ready to ditch my laptop just yet. I hear that, Pilgrim of Light. So the cool thing about that is I guess they made the standalone version and they made the controller version, but the controller version can be upgraded. So it's not like you buy one thing and you have to buy the other one if you really like it. Daniel is using the Syntact and the Digitact. Nice. White Whisker, MPC Live 2, and also Circuit Duo is still killer. Circuit Duo, for sure. I think the main thing that a standalone setup lacks is the opportunity to input the artist's own musical ideas. Hooking up a key instrument to a standalone music-making device is crucial. But stuff like the circuit tracks, DJ, because you're thinking about the sampler of the 404, I bet. The circuit tracks, it's a synth. It's got a synth that you play your own notes on it and stuff. So there you can play your own musical ideas using the built-in synth sounds. Actually, most groove boxes kind of work that way. How to set up my studio with mostly old gear. I don't know how to do inputs to USB adapters and stuff. Want to use my DR202. So you're talking about like audio routing in the studio? I think that's probably, people probably have a lot of similar issues. Oh, the Dr. Groove, the Boss Dr. Groove. It's like a drum machine. Cool. Okay, that's noted. The Octatrack Mark II. Have you done any videos on it? I have not. To me, the Digitac stuff the Electron stuff seems very intimidating. But I know people do a lot with it. So that's cool. I haven't hooked up my Push 3 standalone up to my Mac. I haven't hooked my Push 3 standalone up to my MacBook, and I've had it for 3 weeks because it's so fun to play on its own. Yeah, I don't really see myself using it as a controller. I think most of the time I want a keyboard controller anyway. Or a lot of the time, not most of the time. So I don't know if I'll use it as a controller because I'm going to keep it at the station right there. That station right there is like a DAW-less standalone station. And it's fun to just walk over there and make music. A computer, it's just different, right? Even a phone is just different. I agree, it's intimidating. I suppose once you get it dialed in, it starts to work for you. Yes. I mean, all the gear, right? That's the thing. You see me use certain gear, you can go to another musician's page and see them make something else with a totally different piece of gear that I would never use, and then I'm using a piece of gear that they would never use. You just got to find what clicks with you. I know we talk about the ins and outs and the pros and the cons and the this is better than that, whatever. Sometimes it comes down to what gels for you. The Micro Freak is a beast. It can create every sound needed for a full track. The Micro Freak is interesting because they just pushed that update for it, right? They pushed the granular sample update for it. That's cool. What's that screen under your camera to the left? This screen right here, that's just a second monitor. So the music you're hearing is like a YouTube channel playing. And then if I ever need to bring something up on screen, like if there's stuff that I don't need to be on screen, like chat, for instance. Chat is right in front of me right now. It's that window I'm moving. But usually chat is over here if I'm working in the DAW. And then right under here, there's a screen as well, which is my computer monitor where I can see OBS. Did we have like a tech issue free stream today, chat? The first stream back and it was tech issue free. Watch next week. We have a sponsored stream with Roland and we're going to have all the tech issues. Just know that that's what's going to happen. Don't jinx it. Exactly. Yeah. So I might stream Monday. If I want to get into the habit of streaming on Monday, because a lot of people tuned in on Mondays. Is Monday July? I think it's probably too short notice to do a track review stream, right? Monday is July 3rd. You guys tell me if it's a good idea to do a track review stream or if people... I think many people will be on vacation or have trips, American people. I also want to give a little more notice, so maybe we won't do that. Maybe we'll do a track review stream July 10th, tentatively. Maybe we'll just have a chill stream Monday, July 3rd. Then Thursday, July 6th, which is most important, is we will have our sponsored stream with Roland. So if everybody could show up to that and come check it out. We're going to be using Melodics. They're going to give me 3 Melodics licenses to give away. So next week, I'll be giving away 3 Melodics licenses. Melodics is a finger drumming like training program, which is kind of like a game, but also helps you learn and become proficient at the same time. So there'll be 3 of those to give away, beginning, middle, and end of stream next Thursday. I'll be showing off my new sample pack on the 404, which if you're a member, VIP member, you can download a sample of in the community tab right now. And I will be doing the melodics lessons and we'll be cooking up on the 4/4. That's next Thursday, but I'll see you all before then. I've been posting some stuff on Instagram, so check that out. And then other big plans in the pipeline too, like potentially new YouTube channels and stuff. So that'll be it today. Thank you to everybody who was so gracious and became members or donated today. The super chats, it's really, really great. Thank you all so much for that. Stay tuned for the new push video coming soon. If you want to support the channel, you can of course hit the join button down below, become a channel member so that when we do the track feedback streams, you can submit your music because that's open to members. But if you join right now, you can get access to the Discord. If you become a VIP member, you're going to get free downloads. You can watch all of our previous members only workshops and attend them live in the future. But that is going to be it, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been TAETRO. Oh, wait, TAETRO and Duncan. Duncan, say bye. All right, this has been TAETRO. Have a good one. Bye.